This is where the fun begins.
Hello there. How's it going?
Hey everyone, Hybrid Toy Reviews here with another throwback review not on Thursday. This is the Star Wars The Black Series C-3PO with Babu Frik as seen in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. A Redbox figure from nearing the end of the Redbox line. This was a Target exclusive back in the day, and honestly, it's a little bit of a sleeper hit, I gotta tell you. Let's go ahead and get into the review, and I can tell you all about why this is potentially the best 3PO in the line. Alright, the drill is always we're going to start by taking a look at the packaging. This is the red and black packaging, the standard in the line for many, many years. I know that some people think of the red and black line as a bit of a dark area for the line. But while some of the earliest waves weren't that great, some of the greatest innovations in the line came from this packaging to kind of near the end. But still, I'm really fond of this packaging. This has been the packaging for the longest time of me being a collector, although I did start all the way back with X-Wing Luke in 2013. So I've been here for every packaging style. When I think of Black Series boxes, I do think of this. So let's take a look at it. You have your Black Series logo above a big window showing 3PO and Babu Frik off nicely. You have the Gregory Titus styled artwork here of 3PO and Babu Frik. You have the names 3PO and Babu Frik. Warning, 4+ Hasbro. Side of the box has no number because it was a store exclusive. They didn't do that on the store exclusives. 3PO and Babu Frik. Wraparound window, C-3PO and then the edge of the B up there. A bit of a spacey name. C-3PO and Babu Frik. Around back, you have a zoom in of the art, which is largely covered by a bio for separate characters, which is kind of neat. Varying languages for each. Pause and read whichever one applies best to you. Black Series logo, red rectangle up top where the number would be again. Store exclusive doesn't do that. Bunch of legal stuff, Disney, Hasbro, barcode, legal stuff down below. Very standard stuff going on here. Nothing really to write home about. Let's go ahead and open them up and take a look at what we're getting here. Alright, so here's 3PO and Babu Frik out of the box. As always, we'll start by taking a look at their accessories. So these accessories are kind of wild. I'm going to set Babu Frik aside. So in the movie, and you've had since 2019, so you're going to get some spoilers, I'm sorry. But in the movie, Chewbacca is presumed dead, actually captured by the First Order at one point. 3PO gets a mind wipe after Babu Frik has to clear his mind to have him do some interpretation of ancient Sith text. And so 3PO's kind of useless to the gang. He's like a brand new droid, and they're just like, carry Chewbacca's stuff. And some of that footage made its way into the trailer, and so toys got made and stuff, and everyone was just like, oh, 3PO is going to be like using the bowcaster. 3PO is not using the bowcaster. 3PO is just carrying the bowcaster and the satchel. So he's packaged wearing and carrying that stuff, but it's really just accessories. So we come with a Chewbacca, a satchel. Looks really, really good. Nice brown plastic, kind of a leathery texture, a little bit of a wash on it. Silver boxes all over. And 3PO can wear it, much like Chewbacca does, by just slinging it over his shoulder like so. Honestly, I don't hate the look. It's how he's going to be on my shelf. I had this figure for the longest time, but I just sent it off to Commander Cook because I wanted a custom Battle Droid head 3PO from Geonosis, and I want it on the best 3PO body. So, spoiler alert for my thoughts on this one. He also comes with Chewbacca's bowcaster in a dark gray plastic with a little bit of a silver dry brush over it. Looks really, really good. In the package, it is in pieces, and you have to do a little bit of slight assembly, but it's okay. 3PO comes with a trigger finger. I mean, dude is ready to stand on business, but you could get him carrying it in a not good etiquette kind of way, but yeah, 3PO can go to town on you here. So, yeah, and the arm comes unpinned. So something to show there. This is actually the same 3PO that comes with Chewbacca in the Empire Strikes Back red and black box set. That was an Amazon exclusive. The arms can unpeg, and so can the legs at the thigh. So you can either have this 3PO or the one in that pack. The one in that pack, I think, is best taken apart in the backpack that Chewbacca wears. I think that's kind of like the scene, but it's the same 3PO, technically, other than the hands. So to look at Babu Frik turned out awesome. He is painted incredibly well, even down to his little eyes and smile. He's all like, hey. I love this. Nice orange, on the hood, brown up top, little yellow stripes, his little front and back flap over his little Babu Frik parts. He's a very gray-blue little armor gauntlet things going on there. Very big, five-toed claw feet. And he even comes with a tiny bit of articulation. Features a waist swivel. Yeah, nothing at the head. The head is fixed. But the arms are on ball joints at the shoulders. So, like, you can get him to do a little bit. And then his welding visor flips down. So, yeah, Babu Frik's awesome. I really do like this. He's a really cool little guy. So, not, like, the most, like, important thing in the box here, but it is cool to get this character. Setting Babu Frik aside, let's take a look at 3PO. So, 3PO looks awesome. I know that a lot of people like to bitch and moan about how, oh man, he's not vac metal like the Kenner figures, except do you actually see any vac metal Kenner 3POs that aren't, like, faded as shit? Like, he's a nice gold color that the light bounces off of. I mean, look at the chest. He is glistening. He's got a great clear coat over him. I get it. He's not chrome gold, but, like, get over it. It looks like 3PO, and it looks good. I don't need a fingerprint magnet for an action figure. Like, I don't not see 3PO when I look at this. He's got some really, really fun sculpting going on in the abdomen area. Just with all those colored wires, they're painted very well. I like how you can see areas where the wires have been, like, tied together and stuff. I mean, it's really, really well done, both front and back. You got that 3PO butt and just the standard sculpting. No silver lower leg on this one. I don't think he had that in the sequels, like, at all. Although you probably wouldn't recognize him with the red arm sometimes. But one of the perks, as I mentioned, so this is the pop-apart 3PO from that Amazon pack, but also he actually features arm articulation, because the original 3PO that came out had, like, locked arms, and then they put a 3PO with arm articulation in, like, the Disney 5-pack, and then the arm articulation made it in the Amazon, like, 3PO and Chewbacca set. So the arm articulation isn't amazing, but they've added a bicep swivel in there, and then there's an elbow swivel with this, like, piston that's on a ball that slides up and down. Again, not a ton, but it's better than just his elbows being locked and fixed like they were. So I do really like that. Something else that is unique to this 3PO, and I love, is if you spin him around back, his head has a pop-off back half. There you go. See some of that silver skeletal framing all the way back from the Phantom Menace. You have a bunch of wiring in there and little core pieces, and this actually is from in the movie where Babu Frik is messing with the back of him. You know, he's getting ready to do the hard reset and make him break protocol and read Ancient Sith. People say it was a ridiculous bit in the movie. It made sense to me. Why would you want droids being able to read ancient cult languages? You just want them able to read normal languages. So, I mean, I get it. Popping that back on. One other gimmick. This is the line going above and beyond. Like, it is so cool. As you remember in the movie, 3PO, you know, like when he does the translation, he's been hijacked, he's shut down, and then he wakes up and he has those bright red eyes. Well, let's go to the freezer. Because Hasbro likes going above and beyond on some stuff like this, 3PO actually has a temperature feature, where if you stick him in the fridge or the freezer for a few minutes, his eyes get red. Yeah, so 3PO's eyes turn red in the cold. It only takes a couple of minutes for them to fade. They're already kind of going more into pink mode. But yeah, it's not very noticeable when the figure's like at room temp. You know, you don't really see any red in the eye or anything. But it's just a really, really cool gimmick, even if it makes him look like he hit the Zaza. But yeah, it's just, I mean, how can I be mad about this? I mean, this is cool. I mean, this is just them doing something extra, and I love it. I mean, I legit have no gripes with this. This is really neat. It's just unnecessary, but loved. Let's run through the articulation. I love that. So a lot of this is the original 3PO, you know, what you're familiar with if you have a 3PO at this point, but features a ball joint on a hinge for the head. He can look that far up, that far down, side to side, and a little bit of pivot. His arms can come up to a T-pose. He can 360 at the shoulder. They can pull out, as mentioned. The shoulder, it's pulling out a lot. The shoulder armor can pivot, and then the arm, can pivot inside of it and such. There's a upper bicep swivel, single jointed elbows, which I demonstrated, but can only go that far. 360 at the wrist, with the left hinging in and out, and the right hinging up and down. He has a mid-torso ball joint, allows him to crunch that far forward, that far back, which is a ton. He gets a little bit of swivel in there and a bunch of pivot. His legs can only kick that far out. He can only kick that far forward. Not back at all. Anthony Daniels, the poor man, had to wear this thing. Can you believe that? There's an upper thigh rotation. Single jointed knees. Now, they're pinned. You can see the pin on the inside, but it does fit the sculpt with the rings. On the outside, the pin actually has a little rod that comes down. That is costume accurate. The knees can go not quite to 90, but again, that's about what Anthony Daniels had in the costume. And that usually got stuck back there. The pin can pivot, though, and you can bring it back to where it should be. The feet can go straight down, really far forward, and there's a forward-facing pin for rocker. So you can actually get him, you know, in some pretty okay poses. But again, he's also 3PO, so like he kind of just, you know, most of the time you just want him to have his hands kind of just in front of his waist like he normally does too. Let's do a size comparison. So obviously 3PO towers over Babu Frik. Here he is next to a Sith Trooper from the same movie. A Sith Jet Trooper. Can you tell that I filmed this on the same day as the Sith Trooper review? And here is Rey from The Rise of Skywalker. So I wish I had more Rise of Skywalker characters to show you, but they never gave us Finn or Poe or anyone cool from it. So yeah, 3PO, not quite 6 foot tall. He's more like 5'8"-ish or whatever. I feel that's accurate. Babu Frik, smaller than everyone. I also feel that's accurate. All in all, the scale's nice. So at the end of the day, what do I think of the Rise of Skywalker, 3PO, and Babu Frik? Honestly, I love this. I think this is one of the best 3PO figures in the line. Babu Frik's a really cool throw-in. It's nice to get some accessories with 3PO, considering he's a character that, quite honestly, has 0 possessions. What could you give him as an accessory? If anything, the only thing I wish he came with in addition was the Sith dagger, since that's what he's interpreting in the scene. And I get it. You want to keep, like, certain story elements, like, under wraps, and so you don't want to, like, as Disney, you don't want to, like, give Hasbro a bunch of info that might be leaked or whatever. But I also think if you just said, yo, give 3PO this dagger, we ain't telling you what it is. Like, that's not really going to ruin anything either. Like, oh no, I know that a dagger's in the movie, which also, if memory serves, was in a scene of the trailer anyway. But I digress. It is really cool that he's carrying Chewbacca's gear and that he comes with Babu Frik. I feel like he's a good value. He was at the time. I think you can get him for about 30-ish on eBay these days. And again, for one of the best 3POs in the line, how could you argue it? The gimmick with the back of the head opening is insane. Did not need to be there. Super glad it is. The eye color change in temperature is just wild. It makes me smile every time I think about it. I mean, so many cool little gimmicks that just did not need to be here, but I am so happy they are, that don't detract from the quality of the figure whatsoever. I'm just going to say it. Best 3PO in the line. Best value for your money when it comes to buying a 3PO. Go and grab it. It's mandatory. So, mandatory 3PO for the line. Hybrid has spoken. Thank you for watching. It means a lot that you did. If you enjoyed, you should leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that end of video stuff. You know the drill. I'll catch you next time. Until then, may the Force be with you, and goodbye.